Yes boys, it is Tuesday, it is leg day. This is the one session of my split that I don't believe I've got any footage of on the YouTube channel. Last leg day I got up was in warehouse when I was running Tuesday legs there, but we've been running it in the dock 1, the mecca of bodybuilding, for the last few weeks. So I'm gonna get this session filmed. It's a decent one. We've got the Rogers hip press and barbell stiff legs at the very end of the session, which is definitely nice. As you'll have seen on the Instagram, I'm stiff legging on a Tuesday, and Saturday it's a barbell hinge, but I don't really know what to call it. It's just called moving weight. So this one's the sort of more hypertrophy focused and actually maybe building some muscle rather than just lifting weight for the fun of it. But kicking things off, we do have ab training back in the mix. I took ab training out of my split for a while just to limit session time, because with the full body setup, you're in the gym for 2.5, maybe 3 hours at times when you pose and stuff after the session. So no way was I throwing in ab work, but I've made some adjustments to sessions. Made this session a little bit longer so I can hit abs and calves as well, because it's just what's needed. You know, my abs when I diet down are strong enough. You know, I've got nice symmetrical abs, but they can always be deeper, and to do that you need to train them. Yeah, to reveal them, that's the deficit. But if you want them to show at a higher body fat percentage as well and look better in your push-up, you sure as hell need to train them. Oh, fuck. Little consideration for your ab training. Are you actually training your abs, or are you just moving load with the rest of your body? You know, I think with ab training, probably more so than any other exercise for any muscle group, sensation matters. It's so easy to just move the stack on something like this Nautilus abdominal crunch, but you're just not utilizing your midsection or your core. You know, I'm using 50 kilo out of 91 kilo on the stack here, but I'm ensuring that I'm going into a good amount of spinal extension at the top and spinal flexion at the bottom. And what I'll also say is your ab range of motion doesn't have to be that huge, as long as you're crunching down and you feel that midsection tightening or contracting, and you don't need to be doing stupid amounts of range where your nose is coming down to your bollocks. Like, I think people maybe obsess over the range a bit more than they need to. You know, if you're just going into spinal flexion and crunching down, that's not a huge amount of range. But where people do, they'll obsess over it in the shortened range, but they won't maximize the range in the stretch where we want to be seeing a lot of the range come from. So 3 sets here, 3 sets on a Tuesday, and we've got a hanging leg raise variant on Thursday, which is 3 sets, and 3 sets of a crunch on Saturday. So 3 times per week frequency on abs should get the off-season recomp going pretty damn nicely. Abs are still in bits, to be honest, from last Thursday's hanging leg raises. They are nuts. But yeah, 3 sets here. Then we move on to an adductor, new addition to this session as well, with the gym getting the Atlantis abductor or adductor, and get them mixed up. You are so unflexible. Andrew Jack can do splits on stage and you can't even get it out of an adductor.
I can't wait to see you at Nicholas pose on stage.
Oh, what pose?
Nicholas pose.
What one's that?
We were like, it's not the splits, but it's like one leg sprinting.
I'll not be doing any of that, carry on. Do you think I can clickbait the YouTube video now, being like post-workout with the European champ? Nice. So 2 more movements ticked off. You'll have seen doing the adductor with Butcher there, European champ. Can't wait to clickbait this title. But yeah, new piece in Atlantis, adductor / abductor. Actually, I'm a fan of it. I wasn't sure last week. I thought it was pretty weird because you'll see if I stand up, handles are diagonal upwards. So I thought that was pretty strange, but get good work in it. To be honest, that doesn't really affect anything. Then next up we have the abductor. I was gonna do this at the end of the session, just as you know, a way to wrap things up. But you know, I think while I'm here, you know, it's a 2-in-1 machine. I might as well just tick it off. I really don't think doing my 2 sets of abductor is gonna affect my stiff leg, my hip press, just that little bit of extra glute fatigue. I don't think it's going to matter much. It would be different if I'm doing a hip thrust pattern or something. That would definitely take away from my lockouts or my hinges, in my opinion. But this, it's absolutely fine. Also notice, got the shaker in my hand. It is currently 2 hours 12 minutes after my pre-workout meal was inhaled chicken rice, nut butter, banana, dates, the goated pre-meal. But since it is time for the MPS spike, it'll be roughly 2 hours till I'm having my post-workout here or there. We get this in now. So in here it is 14 grams of EAs. Just I do a serving or whatever grammage you need to get 3 grams of leucine. You can check the panel, the workout for your own intra. 25 carb through Cybex, fruit twist flavour, Then we have 10 grams glutamine, 10 grams creatine. So yeah, get this down in one go. Nice protein hit. Fuck's sake. Top set on either leg of the single leg ham curl, boxed off now as I make my way out of the prime ham. Maybe wondering why the single leg in this session. Now this is my all-time hands down favourite ham curl. So something we were talking about on Lifestyle Loops last weekend's episode, cheeky plug, is having A and B rotations of your sessions, and specifically using the same movement in the same session or a different session throughout the week. Now, my personal take on it, I would much rather do a different variation or have a different sequencing of the session to use the same movement multiple times a week rather than use a movement I find, or a machine that I find subpar in its place. So I don't want to use a different seated ham curl. I train hamstrings 3 times a week. Tuesday it is this single leg variation. Thursday I do my seated hamstring curl fresh, first exercise of the session, so that's obviously I'm going to be using the most amount of load there. That's dual leg, and then on Saturday I do dual leg again, but the sequencing's different. I do it at the end of my leg work, so I'm doing it after a hip hinge and some other leg work, so my loading capabilities obviously going to be different. I'm going to be weaker, but since the sequencing's different, that's a different runway for progression. I'm using different amount of load going into the movement with a different amount of fatigue, so I can continually progress that without hitting a plateau, and that's just how I like to program and use the bits of kit that I really want to use, rather than hopping on something like this Cybex Eagle next to me, which I just find subpar to the prime ham. But yeah, 3 times a week, prime ham frequency. Always faffing over frequency, lads. But yeah, that's how I go about it. First big movement of the session, we have the Rogers hip press. Probably the closest thing closest compound you can get to in isolation, in all fairness. This is quads, obviously, first bit of quad work. Getting on pretty well with this, have to say. I do prefer the gym Leco hip press if I was to choose one, but you know, you get seat belted into this Rogers, you're getting a lot from your quads. Now, have thought about changing this session up. You'll see after this I've got a Cybex or a prime leg extension, but I have been thinking of moving it to a Cybex leg extension up first, and then the hammer strength linear leg press after taking that leg press out of my Saturday full body session. It opens up that window to sort of do it, but I definitely think there's rationale to just keeping your sessions the same and just getting stronger, to be honest. Mentioned there about the seatbelt, and I would go as far as saying a hip press piece of kit is borderline unusable without a seatbelt. Same with like machine dips, like the Life Fitness or the Life Fitness primarily. Any seated dip without like a knee pad to keep you locked in place, borderline unusable without a seatbelt. And I think the seatbelt is definitely one of the most underutilized, frowned upon even pieces of gym equipment. I think it's such a good tool to have in your gym bag. You know, I'm going to get so much more from those two movements that I just named, as well as like your leg extensions, seated hams. I've seen it used on hack squats. Super good piece of super good piece of kit to have in your arsenal if you just want to get more out of a lot of your leg movements. It comes down to you know, I did put it off for a long time, but just spend the 20 quid, maybe 25 quid on one, and it'll do you for dear knows how long. A seat belt will last you, and that's probably years of better, more stimulating sets on the likes of your leg extensions and stuff. you'll see with my leg extension work on the prime specifically, I'm really not chancing any 50-50 reps at all. You know, when you've so much load on the top pin, this set for example, 15 kilo on the mid pin compared to 102.5 on the top pin. So that's a major disparity between the lengthen range, or a bias towards the lengthen range. So when I'm struggling that much to get a rep fully short, even chancing another one, there's a really slim chance that I'm going to get a fully short, which just leads to failing a rep, which has a knock-on effect, a negative knock-on effect to my back offset, which means maybe not taking a progression there, all because I wanted to maybe act up for the video and look like I'm training harder. You have to just remember, it's not all about we all want to think that it's a hard work contest, but taking these silly reps in your sessions just always isn't productive, and it can actually be a negative. It can come back to bite you. But you don't have to watch me pose, like.
I'll just do some free pointers because I am Ireland's #1 male posing.
I don't want your feedback. You told me my quarter turn was just unlucky. It's just awkward.
Just said you need more.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, buddy. Yes boys, that is a wrap up of legs. You will have last two movements seen leg extension and stiff leg deadlifts. Now both went very well. Stiff legs up a kilo on the top set, matched reps, so half kilo aside, a little biscuit added on, then 2.5 kilo on the back off, dropping 1 rep, so not a bad takeaway at all. Post workout time, I've posed, done my vacuum practice, took 2 caps magnesium, 1 cap glyco tank. They're new additions to the post workout meal. I guess I'll show you it now here. Butcher is crying that I'm taking too long, but I will just quickly show you guys this. So we have 100 rice flour, 100 berries, 100 banana, 30 dates. In here we have 15 dark chocolate and 40 grams of whey. Now whey of choice we have went TWP, chocolate coconut, very elite flavour. But before Butcher throws a hissy fit, I'm going to outro the video, and if you did make it this far, thank you very much for watching. Very productive leg day for myself. So guys, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next grow bag entry.